Hello everybody and welcome. I am here with Eric to record a video that Eric suggested that I thought would be pretty neat, where you've all been asking for an Eric tier list, but Eric hasn't played most of these investigators, or seen most of these investigators being played. So I was like, this ain't gonna happen. But then Eric said, but what if we made a predictive tier list, where I kind of guessed where I felt the power level for these investigators would be. And I thought that could be a pretty fun idea, especially with me asking why, so it's not just Eric being like B tier, A tier, S tier. And then we can also use this as something we can look back on and be like, so 1 year later, how are you feeling about these investigators now that you've played them? This also include investigators that Eric has played, and those are going to be less predictive and more actual tier list ranking. But people have been asking for this, so buckle up, let's get started. We're just going to go in order that we go for our normal tier list rankings. So
I'm so glad that I can read quickly, because I had a whole plan after suggesting this that I was going to read up on all of them. Yeah. I was going to have studied them. I was going to vaguely know what the powers are. And then as I sat down to this, I had asked Justin earlier, like, what was my tier list idea again? And I was just like, oh no, is this game just going to be me reading? What are your rankings? Because these are the ones we always use. Is there a reason you have that you're going to have for all of these? 5, 6. Okay. Yeah. You have one more ranking than I do, but I can work with that. I can adjust.
You also could just ignore one. Yeah.
Let's go ignore C.
Ignore C, yeah. It's SABDF, yeah.
SABDF. Yeah, so for me, the way that I do these rankings is a little bit inspired by the Dark Souls community, but mostly inspired by how I used to troll the Dark Souls community. When talking about ranking tiers on Reddit, which is something I used to enjoy doing as much as I did invading, because it was kind of like that.
Yeah.
So for me, F tier generally means that there is nothing thematically coherent about the character with their power, and that their power is not good either.
So there's like no reason for them to really exist.
Precisely.
Yeah.
They usually a character like this has been created to fill a slot in the game, as opposed to created with a story and an idea and a concept for the character that kind of leads the art design and direction, or the mechanical design and direction, and then it failed.
Yeah.
In my opinion. D is kind of a category I think a lot of people hate, and this is how I used to troll people, which is, for me, D is usually the meta tier. D is, you will choose this above all other considerations, not because it's fun, not because it's interesting, but because it is just flat going to do what it's going to do. It is a solved character. It is a solved mechanical system. It's actually, in my opinion, going to take joy out of the game to play it. So it's strong or it's bad, but either way, it's not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to skip C. So B tier for me is, it's good. It's playable. It's often kind of viewed, usually in more competitive circles, as something of a joke or something as an off meta, which is just the idea that this is playable. There isn't anything particularly wrong with it. But it's you're going to have to put more work into it.
Yeah.
In a perfect game where, in this case, the Mythos deck is playing perfectly and your allies are playing perfectly, you are going to be the one struggling the most to achieve the same results, or having to put more work in than everyone else. A tier for me is anything that is strong and fun, or that maybe is a B tier that is mechanically complex, but when it hits very successfully. You can hit very successfully with it. So a combo piece that has multiple objects that can make combo really well. So for example, your big money decks, I would often classify as an A tier sort of deck style, because even if you don't hit the exact play you need, there are enough cards in your deck that work into big money that you're not setting up needlessly. You're not building a combo machine only for it to break when a single piece is missing. And A tier is generally just like, kind of, in my opinion, the highest you want to play at. It's flavorful, it's mechanically sound, and it's got enough depth of complexity that you can revisit it as well and have more fun with it. S tier is broken, but in a hilariously fun way. So in my opinion, S tier is often something you want to try once and then avoid. It's something that will often teach you about the game because it breaks the mechanics of the game in some way, or it does something so good that you have a lot of fun. There is some complexity to play it. There is some engagement to play it, but ultimately this is a character who's going to very rapidly end up in D tier if you were to overuse them.
I get you.
Or they in some other way just make a section or a portion of the game meaningless. They effectively eliminate how part of the game works because they are so mechanically coherent. In my opinion, D tier and S tier I tend to see get the most play in meta, but it's S tier that is at least fun and enjoyable both to be at the table with and to see played or to play against, whereas D tier is like, oh, great, you're running this again. Okay. Wonderful.
All right. With that all said and done, let's dive into the first one here with Roland Banks. As a reaction, after defeat an enemy, discover one clue at your location and limit once per round. So we're not going to get like super deep into like what they can play because Eric isn't. If I said Eric, this can play Guardian Seeker, Eric's going to be like, cool.
I'm going to be like, magnifying glass. Yeah. Speaking of D tier,
it is. Yeah, that does fit with that very well with your summary for all these. So it's mostly going to be like, and I have the signatures here if Eric wants to skim them, but we're looking at mostly like the front of the investigator for the ones that Eric hasn't played. So where do you feel like Roland Banks is for you, all things considered? And also 9-5 soak, 3-3-4-2 stat line.
For me, I'm going to put Roland Banks in B tier. I'm looking at Roland's weakness. I'm looking at Roland's 38 special, which doesn't do it does do additional damage and can get +3 fist. And I'm mostly seeing this as a character who feels like he could be very, very strong if set up correctly. He's got a very interesting, like, I'm going to defend and gain clues that way. Seems like kind of a fun flex. But the biggest thing I see about him is it seems like he fully turns off if there are not enough enemies on the board. And if you cannot be killing an enemy around to get the clue to help solve your weakness or to progress the game state, as Roland Banks, you're like the quintessential thug being like,
yeah, what do?
I hear.
Yeah.
How carry?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I would definitely stat him as a B tier.
I have a question for this. If he is this thing, do you feel like his potential ability to tap into seeker cards that make investigating easier? Do you think that helps mitigate things? Do you think that ultimately, do you feel like that would be more like you're wasting your time? I
feel like he, again, is a flex. Yeah. So I feel like you could do it, but I feel like there's a world where Roland Bank runs some of the cards that I would call D tier, like magnifying glass, stuff like that, so that he can pump his seeking side up a little bit. But with a 3 in book, I feel like you're playing combo pieces instead of trying to just naturally investigate to pick up clues.
Because even if, for example, using the magnifying glass, that's one less hand to hold another weapon, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you're running all weapons, then you run into this problem of if you are extremely efficient at killing monsters at the wrong time in the scenario tempo, or nothing gets drawn for a little while, like you're just getting slowly cooked by the mythos while you wait for something to bring to the table.
All right. Let's go on then to Daisy Walker, 3522. You may take an additional action during your turn, which can only be used to activate the action on a tome ability, and soaks for 5-9.
I need to play more tomes before I can accurately say whether Daisy is like an A or a D.
Do you want 2 examples of some good tomes that Daisy plays?
Yeah.
One of them is called Old Book of Lore. As an action, an investigator location searches the top 3 cards of their deck for a card and puts it into their hand, then shuffle. Other one is Grim Memoir. Investigate, you get +2 book. If you succeed by 2 or more, draw a card. Those are like 2 quintessential Daisy tomes.
I would say I'd probably put Daisy into an A tier then. It sounds like she has fun. It sounds like you can really kind of modify her and play with her in terms of what tomes you run. I'd be interested to see if there's ever a version of Daisy that purposely runs certain tomes at certain times, holds other ones back, and then puts them into play as kind of a combo piece. I definitely think that she's stronger than Roland. That is an easy comparison I can make there because, I mean, She is the five seeker.
Yeah, 5 book.
But the fact that you're using tomes, I think, is a little bit playful. It makes her different than some of the other investigators, where it's just like just win, value, big money more.
Yeah, because they take the hand slots, which means she's less inclined to use magnifying glass as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we learned today is vilified on Eric's tier list, down to the D tier. I mean, it is very good. It makes sense why it is there, and it's good and it's so good in not a fun way. So it just checks out.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to Schizo Tool, a rogue, 2/3/3/4. As a lightning bolt during your turn, spend 2 resources. You may take an additional action this turn. Limit once per turn, 8/6. So I've played parallel skids, but not original skids. However, none of the parallels are going to be as part of this tier list.
I want to put skids into an S tier, but I feel like he's actually A because of his stat line. There's a part of me that immediately reads that and goes, hold up. Just automatic 4 actions. There's so much junk you could do with that. The amount of doubles that you could play without any sort of like negative ramification, the amount that you could potentially do with that. But I'm also seeing a character that desperately needs setup. So I'm wondering, how often is that 2 resources you drawing an extra card to find a solution? How much is that you doing something to regain resources on your loss? I could see a big money skids deck being a lot of fun, where you're just constantly burning cash to have more actions.
Yeah.
But I'm a little bit nervous about a character, especially in green, who is like 2/3/3/4.
Yeah, the stat line doesn't inspire.
Yeah, but the power,
The ability.
you can see that it's playable.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to Agnes Baker, 5/2/2/3 in the Mystic class. As a reaction, after 1 or more horror is placed on Agnes Baker, deal 1 damage to an enemy at your location. Limit once per phase.
Oh. I'm gonna say, oh god, I'm putting too many people in A tier. I'm gonna put her in deal 1. Okay, is there a way that you can deal yourself horror?
Multiple ways.
Okay.
So you did play Agnes very briefly when we did our Undimensioned and Unseen challenge. So a popular way is there's an asset called Forbidden Knowledge, where as a lightning bolt you can gain a resource from it, and there's 5 resources on it, and take 1 horror. There's also, like during the Mythos phase, Ward of Protection deals you a horror and cancels a treachery. And there's also like Shriveling can deal you horror damage. There's a new card in Drowned City that can deal you horror on command. So there are multiple ways to deal yourself horror when you want to take horror. And then some incidental ways as well.
I'm going to call her B. I'm going to call it B because I look at this stat line and I see a magic caster who's very focused on taking some horror, but she doesn't have the 9 brain I'd want for a character who's going to be soaking a lot of horror. I'd want to find some ways. It's not direct horror. So
it has to be placed on her, though.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. So it's basically direct horror.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see her being fun. I can see her being playable, but as is common in a fighting mystic, I can see her taking a lot of time to set up and you having to have the right hand or know what you're mulliganing for and really tune your deck into precision so that Agnes is firing when there are creatures around. But then again, as is with every thug who is more thug than anything else, what's she doing if she's not killing something?
Luckily, Mystics flex a lot easier than other classes because she could play like a Rite of Seeking or a Sixth Sense to just investigate, but I think that is a fair statement for just thugs in general.
Yeah.
All right, let's hop on over to Wendy Adams. 4/3/1/4 is a reaction. When you reveal a Chaos token, choose and discard 1 card from your hand. Cancel that Chaos token and return to the bag. Reveal a new Chaos token. Limit once per test/ability.
Like, oh, okay. I think I'm putting in our first F.
The first F.
I'm putting in an F because I don't like her stat line. I don't know how I would play a survivor that's mostly brain and mostly foot. That seems very defensive. Her power, it feels very defensive. I see that there are ways you could probably use it offensively, but I've now played enough of these campaigns where it's like, only pulling 1 token different is going to save you from an auto fail. but it's not going to save you from the other -4. It's not going to save you from the annoying tomb or squid, depending on where you're going for. If I was playing Wendy Adams, I would want to really find other ways to also do token manipulation, or honestly, and I hate to say it, not really rely on her power. But in that case, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing with her?
Does it make you feel at all different knowing that she is Survivor and Rogue, so she has, like, the Foot Matter cards as her disposal?
She might be more playable. If I had a C, I might move her up into C. But
unfortunately, it's not there.
It's not there. I eliminated C. I forced myself. Yeah, I don't feel like I'm ever excited to play her. I look at this card and I don't even have this excitement for, like, how am I going to make her work? That stat line just kills it for me. Like, I'm not investigating. I guess I'm fighting with foot. But she's not mystic. So she's not running spells.
No, there is a Survivor spell that lets you fight with brain or foot.
Okay. But that's one.
That's one, yeah. And it takes up 2 hands and an arcane slot, I think. It takes up a lot of space. Yeah,
I don't like Wendy.
All right.
I'm gonna be forced to play Wendy one day.
That's the thing about doing this, right? You can see them all. All right, Zoe Samura's 4/2/4/2. After you become engaged with an enemy, gain 1 resource as a reaction. 9/6 for soak.
That's interesting. I like her.
So we're entering the Dunwich Investigators. These guys all have a very similar deck building where they have their main class 0 to 5, and then they get 5 level 0 cards from any other class in their deck.
Okay, that's
so there's some versatility in their deck building.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like her better than I like Roland Banks's power. But I also, again, I'm coming to realize I'm not a huge brain person.
Yeah, you don't like willpower? Yeah, not brain?
I'm not a big willpower. I'm not big brain.
Yeah.
I'm small brain.
Yeah, you want small brain stat. You want your stuff in other places?
Yeah, I'm small smooth.
Yeah, small brain, but stats other places.
Yeah. I don't love her. Her
Elder Sign?
Her Elder Sign power. +1 damage is great. Like, that's gonna... But you can't fish for that. You can't plan for that. After you become engaged to an enemy, gain only 1 resource. I feel like that's not enough benefit. Because, like... On average, you're going to get an extra 2 resources out of it, maybe. So an enemy hits you on the encounter phase. Does that count as you engaging?
Yes. So it's the same sort of thing. When you engage and an enemy engages you, all happens at the same time.
I do love the combination with Zoe's Cross, though. I will admit.
It is a fun combo.
There's probably something I'm missing here. I'm going to put her in the B tier.
Cool.
And because you said she can take 5 of anything, there's probably some, like, low-level Zoe spell play.
There is. Yeah, so it's exactly that. And it's actually where the brain comes in nice because she can take like a 6th sense to just investigate 4v Shroud when there's no enemies.
Yeah.
But like her signature finds enemies and she actually her signature weakness pulls an enemy out. So she's pretty good at hunting for stuff.
Yeah.
A fun interaction with her is, remember in Dream Eaters there were the swarming enemies where they were like, we got the extra face down cards.
Yes.
Those all count as different enemies. So she gets like, if she engages like a host with 2 swarms, she gets 3 resources.
Okay, that's pretty sick.
It's a fun interaction
Yeah,
with
I'm
her.
glad I put her in B then, because I could feel that there was something there.
Yeah.
But I'm not in love with things that require enemy engagement. Yeah.
All right, next up we got Rex Murphy. 3/4/2/3 is a reaction. If you succeeded a skill test by 2 or more while investigating, discover 1 clue at your location.
Yeah, put him in D. Like, what is this? This is just good value. He's just like, a skill test can also be your investigation. He's literally...
Well, it's only during investigating. A skill test while investigating, so it's only that.
Yeah. He's just a... And I've seen the number of science tools that are like, move something up by 1, move something down by 1. Like, he's got 4 book. He's got 6 and 9 for his stats. He's got an insane draw ability. He's just good, and I feel boring. Like, you're just hoovering clues. That's your whole job. You're a vacuum. And then what's his negative? Okay, that's not great, but it's not the worst, because you're just going to regain all your tempo, or you're going to be so far ahead it's not going to matter.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like Rex Murphy's really boring to me.
He is, I still think, the strongest investigator in the game, but I think with what you described in your tier list, D makes total sense for that.
Yeah.
Because he is, for your 2 cents, just boring strong.
Yeah,
Yep.
like, I'm going to play him, and I'm not really going to engage with the game.
That's why I'm very curious to see how this goes for some investigators later. If you know who I'm thinking of. There's another investigator who's very strong, like Rex Murphy, but in a way that I'm curious if might get a better rating. So I'm curious to see about that.
That's fair.
All right. Let's go to Jenny Barnes. 3s across the board. You collect 1 additional resource during the upkeep phase.
I really should have kept that C.
I mean, you could bring it back. You have the power.
I might have to bring it back, but I'm not going to yet. You collect 1 additional resource during each upkeep phase. 3s on all your skills. What's her class build?
She's the Dunwich, so it's rogue and then 5 level 0 cards.
I'm gonna call her a weird B.
A weird B. So
Yeah.
like that's a C.
All right, let's put the C in and let's move Wendy and
These 2 in C?
Yeah.
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 Just also note these aren't in order. I'm just putting them, it's like a first in,
yeah.
last out. We're not doing that. There's too many people.
I'm not
That's
interested in that.
specifically for me and my current tier list only. There's too many investigators to do.
I don't know enough to also
Yeah.
be able to rank them against each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to put her in a C. I feel like there's some fun you could have with her, but I don't think she is as natural a combo piece builder as all the people I'm putting in B tier. And I think the 3 stats across the board is intriguing, but I also feel like that's potentially a trap, where she's kind of good at everything, but she's not good enough for you to make tempo in this game.
Yeah.
She's not going to get ahead the way that I'd want to see her get ahead. Not unless you use those 5 random cards excruciatingly well, and then you're relying on drawing them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I dig it. Next up, we got Jim Culver, 4332. Treat the modifier on skull tokens you reveal as 0. Anytime you reveal an Elder Sign token, you may choose to instead treat it as a skull token.
I really want to like Jim,
Story of my life.
but I think Jim is an actual legitimate F.
All right.
Obviously a mystic, but is a mystic who's not gaining any benefits off of spells, as far as I can tell. Not really built for it. 3s in the other 2 stats again are That's not really enough to focus. You don't like. If you're a mystic and you've got a 3 in book, you probably don't want to be using your book anyways, even if you have access to seeker tools. You want to be finding ways to cheat out clues using mystic. 3 in fight, you're a mystic. You want to be using brain to fight. 2 foot is bad, and like the skull tokens is cute. That's a cool ability, but like how many campaigns are that heavy focused on skull tokens?
Most of them have 2 or 3 at the most.
Yeah. So it's like statistically I like that there's no limit on it.
Yeah.
I would potentially see a Jim Culver deck that builds around re-fishing tokens, just constantly trying to only draw skulls.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the only thing I could see, and that doesn't feel like a good build. That doesn't feel like it's going to go anywhere particularly fast. Because again, you're probably cheating a lot of your rolls. You're like actively trying to just hoover up clues or just be ahead on successes anyways. Like, I don't see him changing how I interact with the dice pool. And I don't, like, Final Rhapsody feels brutal, especially on a 7-8. And I'm just not feeling it.
All right. Ashan Pete, 4223. You begin the game with Duke in play, so you're going to want to read Duke.
Yeah.
Oh, you've seen Ashan Pete play.
S.
Yeah.
S tier. Unquestionably S tier. The sheer amount that Duke brings to the table as an automatic like ally that you can just put out The fact that it investigates at base skill of 4 is very interesting wording, because that means you can do things to modify that.
Any passive boosts increase it.
Yeah. The fact that Duke has a great stat line for Soak early on. And the fact that you can discard a card to ready an asset plays well into all sorts of Survivor tempos. And although this is incredibly strong, I feel it's also really fun. I feel like there's probably interesting things you can do with this. There's different combos you can play. You can come back to Ashan Pete and do a wide variety of things, very different than how I feel for Rex Murphy. Rex Murphy just feels like I'm always going to do better. Ashan Pete feels like I can really break this game open. There are some things I can do with it that are unlike what you can do with probably any other investigator. But like, I'd be interested in seeing like, what's a sacrificial Duke deck look like? Like, can you kill the dog to get benefits?
Yeah. All right. I dig. All right. Mark Harrigan. So I played this guy in our first ever campaign, but I'll read him again here. 3/2/5/3. You begin the game with Sophie in loving memory in play. As a reaction, after damage placed on a card you control, draw 1 card. And Sophie, you can take a direct damage to get +2 to your stats. But when you have 5 or more damage on you, she flips and she gives you -1 to each of your stats. Sophie gets pissed. She's mad.
I'm going to put this in A tier. I feel like the fact that you can look at Mark Harrigan as potentially being, when needed, in flex, a minimum of 4 in all of his stats. What's his other deck pool?
So he is Guardian, and then he gets Tactics level 0.
Okay, I would have to look at the tactics to know how good they are. But I feel like the fact that you can occasionally just flex into having 4 book, so you can hit those 1 shroud locations or those 2 shroud locations, is really, really strong. I think Sophie's really fun. That's a very interesting mechanic to play with. I think there's also something interesting about him being like, it has to be direct damage, so you can't cheat it onto ally soak is very fun. And what I like...
The nice thing is his ability also triggers, like Sophie's direct, but his ability triggers on any damage. So even if a damage goes on an ally, you get to draw a card.
Oh, that's
But Sophie is the direct. So to get the boost, you have to deal it to yourself.
Yeah. Are you considered a card you control?
You are. Yeah. So when damage is placed on him, you get to draw.
This is great. This is a lot of fun. I feel like there's so much play you can do in this. And I don't feel like it's ever going to be boring, because Sophie is always a time bomb, and you're going to want to play around her in different ways.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Also, finding a way to make 9 health relevant in a weird way that encourages you to spend it is big ups for me.
All right, Minty Fan, who you did play. 4/4/2/2 is a reaction after investigating location, commits the card to a skill test. That card gets a wild icon until the end of the round. Limit once for each investigator per round.
She's got to be... She's got to be, like, a D. No, I lied. I'm gonna call her an A. I think that there is a world where she was probably D for a very long time for me, but with cards like Long Shot and other cards that you can now commit that don't have skill icons but do something extra, the idea of creating like a support Minty is really fun to me and kind of interesting, because you can add that one wild icon. I think the King in Yellow, from what I remember, is a brutal power. So that really helps kind of control her and bring her in line. You have to be a little more thoughtful about draw, which I was not. Yeah, I'd call her an A.
Nice.
I think her stat line her health line is really, really good. And I think her book is good. I do like that she's a little weaker on the fight and the foot. It makes me think like, okay, how can I run a support Minty? Yeah.
All right. Next up, we got Safhina Rouso. 4/2/4. Forced. When you would draw your opening hand, draw 13 cards instead. Choose up to 5 events to place beneath this card and keep 8 cards in your opening hand. Discard the rest. You cannot mulligan. As an action, choose an event beneath this card and draw it. Does not provoke attacks of opportunity. One thing that's very important to keep in mind for Safhina is that she's going to have 3 copies of the Painted World in her deck, which allow her to play it as a copy of an event beneath her.
I'm going to guess she's probably C or B. What's her build look like?
Her build is Rogue 05, Mystic 02.
Oh, I really want to like her. I really want to like her. I'm going to guess that she's probably a B. I haven't played her yet. No, I lied. I'm moving her down to C. I'm going to guess that she feels really, really good when she fires, and that when she doesn't fire, she's spending most of her time evading and not necessarily doing much. Mm-hmm. And that probably feels pretty bad when you didn't get a mulligan and when you put 5 cards under you and none of them matter.
Honestly, you've given me so much life, because one thing I've always said is that even though you see more cards, she feels worse on the mulligan compared to every other investigator. And it's true. It's true. That was a very apt analysis of it, because I've never seen an investigator stumble more than Safhina, but when she does get the card she wants in her opening mulligan, she's very good. Alternatively, when Bryn plays her, because Bryn's very good at these weird investigators. Bryn can make that work.
I think I'm also interested in, so she's an event deck. How many events can you cheat out for free? Mm-hmm. How many events are expensive that you want to be playing with her? How does her economy function as well? Because her stat line is also very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, next up we got Akachi Onule, 5/2/3/3. Your assets with usage charges enter play with 1 additional charge on them. Just that simple.
Just that simple. I'm going to guess that she's probably a D. I'm going to guess with her stat line and what she does that you are always playing her as a shooting mystic, or as a mystic that hovers clues, shoots lasers, and does nothing else. Mm-hmm. I'm going to guess that with the extra charge being very powerful, I'm sure, there's probably very few items in the game that have a single charge that doesn't have a way to charge them up in other ways, because you'd obviously want to build... We've talked about the mystic economy before. Mm-hmm. You'd want to have the mystic economy be designed to kind of self-care.
Yeah.
I suspect that she is very strong and very boring. Mm-hmm. I suspect you do everything with your 5 brain and you do nothing else. That is your whole game plan.
Mm-hmm. A cool thing for I'm not here to oppose this, just some cool thing about Akachi is she's actually probably the Mystic Investigator who is full Mystic that actually uses her fist to fight with over other people, which is very strange. Big reason is because there is a weapon that upgrades into the Mystic class that uses charges, and it uses fist. But I don't disagree with the assessment here that she is basically pretty boring and just shoots stuff. But it's an interesting thing about her. She's the only investigator that actually uses... There's another one, too, where when you kill enemies, you get to put a charge on it, but it enters play with a charge, so it gets it quicker, and then it transforms into a new item and then turns back to the old one, and there's charges on it again. So she has some cool stuff.
Yeah.
But that's unique to her, but she is just more charge.
Mm-hmm.
William Yorick. Did you play him?
I did.
3/2/4/3 as a reaction if defeat an enemy, place an asset from your discard pile, paying its cost.
I suspect that I played William Yorick pretty badly. I'm going to guess that he is A tier. If not D tier, but I think that there's probably enough weird things you can do with William Yorick and Survivor specifically, that because he's a recursion deck, he's like the classic MTG put things in your graveyard to get value from them or bring them back.
Deck,
yeah. I suspect that he is really strong, really good, really fun, but I have personally experienced what happens when he fumbles, and he does not have the stat line to save himself when he fumbles. And I think that that's really good.
Are you ready for a puzzle?
I'm ready.
Lola Hayes. 3s across the boards, forced. After you draw your opening hand, choose a role, which is one of the classes or neutral. You cannot play, commit, trigger abilities on... you can only play, commit, or trigger abilities on neutral cards of your chosen role. And then a lightning... So she has a lightning bolt, switch your role, limit once per round.
Who was the other... All 3s? She was in a C, wasn't
Jenny,
she?
Yeah.
I bet Lola is an F, but I really want her to be an A. I really want her to be good. She's so weird. I really want to play her. She's one of my top. I want to play this character, but I cannot imagine how you play her. I cannot imagine how she functions. She's so many extra steps to just do what another investigator is going to do naturally.
So the big thing about her is that she can play any class up to level 3.
Yeah.
So that's the big selling point for her. She's also been tabooed to be buffed, which might give you some assessment for how she is.
Yes, I'm going to say she's an F.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't even remember what the taboos are. I just know her weakness is softer and she has like a better ability. It's easier to switch roles, but I don't know what it is off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So
I want her to be good.
Yeah.
It's such a fun, like... So there's a comment in Netrunner. A person once made a deck called "Stop Trying to Make Neutral Happen," because there are neutral identities in Netrunner, and they are interesting. Sometimes they win big in tournaments, but you usually see one in an entire tournament rotation of like all over the globe. I want neutral. I want to make neutral good.
yeah.
But I just don't. I just don't see how she gets there using her benefits better than anybody else.
All right, on to the Forgotten Age with Leo Anderson, who you played coming in to fill the hole for Dexter Drake. 4-3-4-1. As a reaction, after turn begins, play an ally has to reduce its cost by 1.
I'm going to put him in a solid B tier. I think that he's interesting. I don't think he's by far the best ally character in the game. I think that there are fun combo pieces you can do and plays you can do. Finding free allies is really, really cool, and being able to spit them out is really good. But that also means that your deck has to be filled with things that work with him or that benefit off of him, which is going to change how you play him and is going to restrict you pretty heavily. I love that he's got 4 fist. I don't know why he has 4 brain. Again, it's like my least favorite number.
Yeah.
Is 4 brain. And like Mitch Brown makes him better. But you also have to find Mitch, which I don't love. Obviously, if you're playing Leo Anderson the way I did, which didn't work terribly well for me, I wasn't particularly good at piloting it. Bought in blood doesn't really matter. You just you're planning on having your allies die anyways.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like he is as consistent as I'd like to see for someone whose whole power is focused around finding those allies and playing them cheap.
Yeah.
Personally.
All right. She's not in the book, but it's Ursula Downs. She's who I'm playing with you in Innsmouth right now. 3-4-1-4 is a reaction after move to location, take an investigate action, limit once per round.
D tier. Utterly D tier. I'm really enjoying watching you play it, but it is mostly the joy of watching you out-tempo the game so hard that, like, I'm doing good. I'm doing great. But the fact that, mild spoilers, turn away for like 30 seconds, you can draw 3 Elder Sign fails and still be up from where we're supposed to be.
Fails, yeah.
So 3 auto fails is crazy to me. Like, that's how good you are.
All right, Finn Edwards, who you just finished playing in Hemlock Vale, 1-4-3-4. You may take an additional action during your turn, which can only be used to evade.
B tier. I liked him. I think it's really interesting to have a character in green with 4 book. That's really fun. I think there's a lot you can do to play around it. I like that he's got good foot, and you can flex a little bit into a fighter.
Yep.
But again, if your power requires enemies to be on the field, it's not my favorite power.
But you love that 1 brain, don't you?
I do love that 1 brain.
It goes everywhere else.
I do. If it could be 0 brain, I would take it. Yeah. I would love it more. I would move him up to A tier.
Yeah, 0-5 or 0-4-4-4.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, next up we got Father Mateo. 4-3-2-3 is a reaction after an investigator reveals an auto-fail chaos token. Cancel that token and treat it as an Elder Sign token instead. Limit once per game. And then his Elder Sign effect, we're going to read because it's basically his ability. You automatically succeed after the test ends. Either draw 1 card and gain 1 resource, or if this is your turn, you may take an additional action this turn.
So I hate to say this, but I view Father Mateo as being blank on his text box.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Because I personally see it as it's going to fire the time I least need to succeed.
Well, you got to choose. You got to choose when, because it's a reaction.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. That's fair.
But it's going to you're going to not use it on the first one, and then no one else is going to draw an auto fail.
Yeah. Yes. It's great that it's global. I love that. But I've also played a number of games now where I've watched people draw a lot of autofail tokens, and we still won. So autofail isn't really the killer that I think Father Mateo makes it out to be. And I think that Father Mateo's ability being limit once per game is really weak. Like, I really don't like that. What's his
deck building?
Yeah.
All right. I believe it's Mystic 05 and then Bless 03.
I'm gonna guess he's F. I don't want to do this to the good father, but
F for father.
F for father. Like, you're probably just a spell slinger. And you get no buffs or benefits to it except a once a game casting, which is cool, don't get me wrong, but like, how many games am I just never gonna fire it? I'm gonna save it until the end, and then
you're gonna Phoenix down it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna use it. And because I'll just reload my save. I'll just beat Kefka the next time.
Yeah.
All right, Calvin Wright, zeros across the board. You get +1 brain and +1 book for each horror on you, and you get +1 fist and +1 foot for each damage on you. Now I'm making this box easy for Eric.
I'm gonna guess he's an F. I think he's an F. I really want to play him. He's another F. I really want to play. But those stats...
I think that's been like pretty much every F except Father Mateo.
Yeah. Basically, if I like the character, they're probably F.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm really struggling when you only have 6 and 6. I'm really struggling to figure out how you get there without literally riding the raggedy edge in a way that will kill you. Like, you want to be playing Calvin Wright at 1/1. You want to be having 5 and 5.
Yeah, you want to have 5 all the way across, yeah.
But you're going to have to get there. And in getting there, you could just die. You could just get hit with too much. Like, there are too many Mythos cards that are like, you have to, if you fail by X amount, you take that much horror. If you fail by X amount, you take that much damage. And those are the ones that Calvin wants, because you want to get to a low as high and fast as possible. But there's no way to consistently do it without gambling. And I love a gambling character, but the payoff isn't even that good. Like, 5 across the board is great, but you still want a +2, a +3 on top of that to be able to consistently do it. And if you're not getting hit, you're just not contributing. Like, you're doing nothing. I want a world where I play this consistently and effectively, but I can't see it. Yeah.
All right. Things are going to start getting weird now because we're in some promos, so we're going to skip those. These guys are coming back later. We're going to go to Carolyn Fern next.
No Luke Robinson?
He's in Dream Eaters. The binder's out of order.
Oh, okay.
The binder was in the order that I bought them, and I bought Dream Eaters before Circle Undone. So, Carolyn Fern, 3/4/2/2. As a reaction after one of your card effects heals horror from an investigator or ally asset, the healed card's controller gains 1 resource. Do you want to know her deck building?
Yeah.
Okay. Guardian, 0-3. Seeker, Mystic, 0-1. 15 cards of those. Cards that heal horror, 0-5.
I'm going to guess she's B tier. I suspect that she is one of the only characters in the game that makes healing fun and makes healing interesting, but ultimately it's a healing deck. You're still waiting for people to get hurt, so that, and needing to be in the right place so that you can get the maximum benefit and so that you can gain them a resource. I would love for her to be an A. If she was a D, my mind would be blown. But I suspect she's only a B. I suspect there's fun ways to play her, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to get there.
All right, next up we got...
Yeah, because it's only a horror, too. It's not even damage or a horror.
Not damage or... It's
yeah,
just
definitely B.
Joe Diamond, who you played in Dark Matter, 2/4/4/2. Force, when the investigation phase begins, reveal the top card of your hunch deck. Until the end of the phase, you may play that as if it was in your hand. It gets -2 cost. And if still revealed, you shuffle it back.
Joe Diamond is a prince among men, and Joe Diamond gets put to S tier.
Hell yeah.
Joe Diamond is 4s in 2 of the stats you most need, which means you'll probably magnifying glass, but do you really have to? Joe has a hunch deck, which is wild and fun to play. I played it in what is, I'm told, a relatively soft campaign.
Yes, it was Dark Matter, yeah.
But I didn't play it very well, and it was still great fun.
Yeah.
Building the hunch deck is hilariously fun. I'm sure there are some ways to play Joe, you monsters out there that are just D. You just play the same Joe Diamond every time, and I don't know how you have fun with that. I guess because you're spikes. But I feel like I could play Joe Diamond again and again and again, messing with the hunch deck every time, and get a very different play experience while still having a good fallback on stats. And being able to build the rest of my deck in all sorts of weird ways. Because the hunch deck can just be the cards you absolutely want to see every time, and then the rest of Joe Diamond can be weird.
Yep.
Yeah.
They can be what you want.
I like it.
All right, Preston Fairmont. 1s across the board for a stat line. Anytime you gain 1 or more resources from a card effect, place them on Family Inheritance instead of your resource pool. And Family Inheritance is 4 money that gets replenished at the start of your turn. It goes away at the end of your turn, and as an action, you can move that money into your resource pool. So essentially, the easy thing to look at it is he gets 5 resources a turn. 4 is temporary.
I'm gonna bet he's A tier. I hate him. I hate him because somehow Calvin Wright exists, and I put Calvin in F tier, but I put this guy in A tier, and I hate him because I can just tell from his smarmy face and the fact that he's got 1s that having that much money makes him good somehow. I just know it. I'm right, aren't I?
Well, he's better than Calvin. I'm not going to say if your rating is right, but he is better than Calvin because it's exactly what you said. Calvin needs time to scale up. Preston can play an event that impacts the board every turn without needing anything else because he gets the money to do it. Because he's rich and smarmy. Oh, right. Preston was the one I was going to try and play an absurd red-gloved man deck. Yes, it was. Yeah, and then the devil in that one too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see him being really good.
All right, Diana Stanley, 1/3/3/3. She gets +1 brain for each card beneath her. And as a reaction, after a card you own cancels or ignores a card effect or game effect, if there are fewer than 5 cards beneath her, place that card beneath her, draw 1 card, gain 1 resource.
Oh, so it's a card you own. It's not from the mythos.
Yes, but you have to cancel another game effect to do it. So an example, there is a card that says, reveal 5 tokens, choose 1, cancel the rest, resolve the chosen token.
Okay.
That would then be able to place beneath her. Ward of Protection, cancel a treachery, place it beneath her. Dodge, because she's Guardian 02, Mystic 05, cancel an enemy attack, that would go beneath her.
Interesting. I have a suspicion she's a B. I have a suspicion that there's lots of ways to play around her. She's just not at the same speed as some of the people in A's. And I suspect she's probably a lot of fun. I suspect she's got the problem of being the alternate of the problem I have with an enemy has to be on the field. With her, since it's pretty much a maximum of 5 cards, you'll probably get an Elder Sign maybe once or twice, but you should just plan to cancel 5 cards. How bad are those 5 cards you're canceling? Are you waiting for the right time? Are you ever getting a card you want canceled? What's the tempo happening here?
She does start with a signature card in her hand at the start of the game that does cancel. It's beneath Twilight Blade, and it's just a card that just cancels.
Oh, that helps.
Yeah, so she gets 1 in her opening hand. So she's effectively, if you on the first Mythos phase cancel a card, you start at 2 brain.
Yeah, okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. But yeah, I suspect... Actually, I lied. I'm going to put her in C.
The strange B.
The strange B. I suspect she's a strange B.
Yeah.
Canceling Mythos is not as strong as I think I want it to be. And so the fact that even with that first one, you've still got at least 3 more cancels before you're at 5, which is kind of where you want her to start, feels weird. Feels weird and bad. And the rest of her stats don't make up for it.
I did a campaign where I played Diana Stanley and Calvin Wright together to just play the scaling squad. It was interesting. It was an interesting time.
I bet it is.
All right, Marie Lambeau, 4/4/1/3. While you have one or more Doom on cards you control, you may take an additional action during your turn, which can only be used to play spell cards or activate spell events.
Ooh, I bet she's fun. I bet she's actually quite strong. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna guess she's... but you have to put Doom on a card to activate her.
To get her ability active, yes.
Yeah. How hard is it to find Doom? Well, there's that one...
It's a lot easier now. There's a lot of tools now to place Doom on stuff. There's also a permanent that you can do it. And there's another permanent that allows you to manipulate Doom as well.
I'm going to call her an S. I bet she's fun. I bet she's weird. I bet the combo potential is absurd when you start being able to double cast spells once you get that Doom out. Mystifying Song is one of the most interesting cards I've ever seen printed. The fact that it's basically a free turn is wild to me. In fact, it's more than a free turn. It's like that can win whole games on its own. And then I'm really interested in the Lord of the Cemetery. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
He's also interesting because he's like, I feel like he's not a weakness. He's actually an engine for her.
Don't underestimate that extra damage that he deals.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Someone suddenly gets poked for 1, they're taking 2. Yeah. Don't.
5 goes to 6.
He is an enabler, though. He does enable her ability while he's around. That part is true.
Yeah, I bet she's a ton of fun to play.
All right, Rita Young, who you saw me play in Hemlock Vale, 3/2/3/5. As a reaction, if you've been an enemy, either deal 1 damage to that enemy or move to a connecting location. Limit once per round.
My opinion of her, based on the way you ran her and played her, is a B. She seems fun. She seems interesting. But it seems like you either need to build around killing, or her goal is not to shut down enemies. Her goal is to just keep pushing them around. I think in a 4-player game, she'd probably be a lot more fun. She'd be an excellent flex in a 4-player game. But I don't really dig her stat line. And I think that there is probably only 1 or 2 really good ways to play her. And they are very fragile.
All right, we're going to go back in time to Dream Eaters. Talk about Tommy Maldune, who I don't think you've played.
I don't think so.
Bryn played him recently. That's who I was thinking of. 3/3/4/2 is a reaction when an asset you control is defeated. Gain X resources, where X is the total amount of damage and horror on that asset, and shuffle that asset into your deck.
Holy cow. That's interesting.
And then Becky, his signature can change the reaction ability to ammo on Becky instead of resources, 1 for 1. So you could, like, if we're gaining 3 resources from it, you could put 2 in your pool, 1 on Becky, 2 on Becky, 1 in your pool, 3 or 3. You do have to find Becky, though. She doesn't start in play.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm going to guess Tommy is... gain X resources. Interesting. I'm going to guess A tier. I can't see a world where a Tommy Maldune deck doesn't have fun and doesn't do surprisingly well as a Guardian. Because what's his other color?
Survivor. He's Guardian 05 Survivor.
Oh, yeah, he's an A. He's got the ability to pick up clues in weird ways. He's got a 3 on book, which is not bad for a Guardian. He's got a 4 in Fist. He's got some very interesting ally play, which I think is actually better than Leo Anderson's. Like, the fact that you get resources back and they go back into your deck means you can really do some interesting things with trying to, like, thin your deck down to just the allies you want to see repeated. Becky is fascinating. Yeah, I bet he's an A.
Nice. All right, Mandy Thompson, 3/5/1/3 as a reaction when an investigator location would search their deck. or the encounter deck, they may either search 3 additional cards or resolve 1 additional target for the search, limit once per round.
That's D. I'm guessing she's a D. She is Seeker. she is yellow. she is consistently helping you find what you're digging for and extra. It's any investigator at your location. Thank goodness it's not across the entire game.
Yeah.
I bet she is the most boring character to play because she just gets value on digs.
She has an interesting deck building. Before Taboo, you could choose 30, 40, or 50 cards for her deck. And then if you chose, depending on how many of these were in your deck. So the higher you do, the more you get. She's been tabooed to B50 is the only choice. So you no longer get to choose.
Okay, that actually makes her an A. Okay, that fixes her. Because I was thinking her with 30 cards in the standard dig.
It was disgusting.
Yeah, I was like, this must be the most boring character. Like, every turn you must be just like, okay, Mandy, what do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want, Mandy?
Yeah.
Okay, with 50 cards, that makes her really interesting. Because 50 cards also means you have to put some interesting stuff into the deck.
Yeah.
I think that puts a lot of interesting play on her. But yeah, I was just picturing like a standard like 24 or 30
I think
card
you nailed
Mandy.
it. You nailed it in terms of, I think, the 2 perspectives of that, because when she was 30, she is actually responsible, she herself is probably responsible for the most tabooed cards.
I believe it.
Yeah, she's actually got like some rogue cards just like almost utterly annihilated. Because she also has crazy deck building. She's Seeker, 0/5, and then events and skills of either... I think it's Rogue, Mystic, or is it Survivor for the last one?
Was this before or after the taboo that she started getting cards tabooed?
So I think she got... Yeah, it's Survivor for the last one. I don't know the exact timeline, but I think she got some Rogue cards and some Secret cards tabooed, and then she was tabooed like the next one or the one after.
Oh, okay, yeah, I could see that. Because I feel like with her being tabooed to 50 cards, it makes some of that a little less scary.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yeah.
With that deck building and just get more good.
Yeah.
That's wild.
All right, Tony Morgan's not here, but I'll tell you Tony Morgan. Actually, I'm going to get him on the screen because Tony Morgan kind of has some stuff that I'll show you.
Tony's a lot going on.
So Tony Morgan, this is the big thing, bounties contracts. So Tony Morgan is a 2/3/5/2. You may take an additional action during your turn, which can only be used to engage or fight an enemy with 1 or more bounties on it. And then he gets 6 bounty contracts at the start of the game, and after an enemy enters play, move 1 to 3 bounties from bounty contracts to that enemy to a maximum of that enemy's health. And then forced after you defeat an enemy with 1 or more bounties on it, you gain them as resources. They move to your resource pool. He also starts with these in his deck, which allows him to... He plays one, he can play the other. And it's a weapon to fight with. It gets +1 fist for each bounty on the enemy. Deals +1 damage, and if it defeats an enemy with 1 or more bounties, you get a bounty token back.
Again, I want him to be better, but I suspect he's a B. I suspect that he's one of the best of the, like, when an enemy is in play, do this thing. Because it's all May effects, it's all chosen effects, and those extra abilities are cool and interesting. But you have to have things come on the field. You have to have things come on the field, you have to find them, but then once you find them, you obliterate them. Which is nice. And I can't imagine you often see a Tony that runs out of bounties.
So we were playing last Wednesday, and Bryn was like, it's fun when you watch someone play Tony, because suddenly they have, like, they're in the scenario with 8 bounties on their bounty contracts. It's just how it works.
Yeah.
All right, next up we got your guy, Luke Robinson. 4/3/2/3, you begin the game with the gate box in play, which allows you to move into your dream gate as a lightning bolt, and you may play 1 event each turn as if it was a connecting location and engage with each enemy at that location.
My bias wants me to call Luke Robinson an S, but my suspicion is that Luke Robinson is a D. I suspect that once you know more about how Luke Robinson works and how the windows work, there is a very specific best of Luke Robinson deck to play that generally sees the most Luke Robinson play and probably breaks the game pretty regularly and frequently, and is probably not the most fun to play with because it just kind of neutralizes large chunks of the game.
I'm going to advise on only one card in this entire time.
Yeah.
What if I told you that that's not true?
S tier.
That Luke is probably one of the most versatile investigators you can build with. It's kind of crazy.
Sick.
I'm gonna give you. Because I'll let you follow your heart.
Yeah.
Not your gut.
Because I wanted to follow my heart, but I was like, I guarantee that that weird movement breaks the game. Like that's the type of thing.
It breaks the game, but it's separate from all the other stuff you can do. So like with Luke Robinson, you can build around his brain. You can build around his book. You can build around events. You can build around skills. You can build there's so many different ways you can take him. He has a very strong card pool too.
I love it.
Yeah. I want it. That's the only one I'm stepping in on.
I appreciate that. Then yeah, I'm glad to put him up at S because he is my favorite character.
Nice.
Except the Goop.
You like Susie.
I love the Goop.
Susie's not on the tier list, unfortunately.
What?
All right, Patrice Hathaway, 4/2/2/2. Your maximum hand size is reduced by 3. And during each upkeep phase, instead of drawing one card, discard all non-weakness cards in your hand and draw until you have 5 cards in hand. Her deck size is bigger. I believe it's 42 cards to make up for that. Just some insight on that.
What's her pool?
Survivor 05, Mystic 02.
I'm going to guess she's a C. Don't get me wrong. I think she's probably a lot of fun. I think she's probably very, very interesting. But I think she is a weird inverted version of Mandy. Where you are probably going to touch every single card in your deck, but having them appear at the right time in the right place is difficult. Having to throw away all the cards you don't use means you can never rely on holding on to something. And like her power, her signature is kind of meh. Like, it actually reflects how kind of meh she is. And I also don't think her stat line is particularly great for someone who is rolling in chaos. Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to call her a C.
All right, we're now going to travel forward to Nat Cho.
Nat Cho.
So Nathaniel Cho, 3/2/5/2 is a reaction when you deal damage to an enemy by an event or a fight ability on an event, deal 1 additional damage. Limit once per phase. All right, so these 5 that we're about to be looking at, they're all monocolor. So he's only Guardian, but they have an additional extra bit of hit points to make up for it.
I see.
So you'll notice they'll have a little bit more on that side.
I mean, I'm going to guess he is another B. No, I lied. I'm going to put him in C.
For Cho.
C for Cho. His stat line isn't particularly good to do anything other than fight. You have to have an event or a fight ability on an event, which is pretty sick. The fact that you can clear out some bigger enemies really fast probably makes him pretty strong. But if your components are only Guardian and neutral, I feel like that really limits your flexibility on what to do other than Guardian. Which is the... What a sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these 5 are all from the starter deck, so they're all designed to be a little bit more approachable.
Yeah.
He also has a secondary signature. It's not an actual signature, but it was in his kit because they had like a deck built for them, which was boxing gloves. You get +1 fight while fighting, and whenever you defeat an enemy, you can search top 6 or 9 cards for the upgrade for a spirit event.
Okay, that's pretty fun. That changes him up a little bit, but even then, I think he's that would put him into a B, but I think he's a C just on his own.
Harvey Walters, 4/5/1/2. As a reaction after investigator location draws 1 or more cards from their deck during the investigator phase, that investigator draws 1 card.
D. He's Seeker. He does more draw. He also functions for other investigators. What's his card pool? He's also just pure Seeker?
He's also just Seeker.
The Vault of Knowledge seems ridiculous because you get more draw. Yeah, for every 3 cards in your hand, take 1 damage. Good. Yeah, I suspect he is a very boring, mechanical, just seeker machine. Yeah, and I suspect he's great.
He is pretty good. Winifred Habermuck, who you have seen played. 1335 is a lightning bolt. If 2 different non-weakness cards you control are committed to this skill test, draw 1 card. And she's mono rogue.
Ooh. My gut says F. My gut says she doesn't get play. That's mono rogue. I lie. My guess, I'm moving her all the way to B. Because I realized mono rogue can do some things with foot, like investigate.
Yes. They can fight with it. Yeah.
And so you want to have some of those, whatever you're doing with her, you want to have the kit pieces. And then you just want to commit 2 non-weakness cards all the time to draw a card, which means you've got really great built-in draw. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to say B. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say she's probably actually pretty fun to play, mm-hmm. but if you don't get a good opening mulligan, you are really going to flounder with her for a while. Mm-hmm. She probably takes a while to get up to speed. How big's her deck size?
30.
Yeah, I'd say that she's probably fun, but she's probably not as strong as the A tier characters.
I'm just glad that you didn't say F, because there's some huge Winifred stands that I'm pretty sure you'd find out you're outside your window at night. Again, this is all predictive for anything. If you're everything that, but I think honestly, this has been very nice on my perspective to hear all this, because I think that there's some things that I think Eric is completely right in their assessment, and some where I'm like, you haven't seen what this motherfucker can do. But that's what's exciting about this list, right? Because then in a year we can be like, so what would you change, right? Like what do you look at this and be like, I was absolutely out to lunch? And what were you like, do you feel like you're most spot on about? And that's why this is exciting, because this is also why our tier list is how it is. A funny story, there's actually a very funny similarity. Our first tier list, we gave Tony Morgan a B as well.
Yeah.
And then every time I've looked back at it, I was like, what were we thinking? But it's really cool to hear the perspective, because I think, again, all your analysis coming from a place without playing them, I think is all very well founded.
I love it.
And that's why I'm just like, yes, ending it, because this is Eric's video, not my video. I've already made my tier list.
I'm very glad I saved myself from the Winifred stand.
Yes. Yeah. No, that one, I put it there and I was just like, rest in peace. It's like when I put Diana Stanley in a C tier, but I think she belongs there. I still kind of put her there now.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Did I put her there?
Yeah. There are some Diana stans who came out but mine was a lot meaner than yours, because you were like, I think this is her problem with her, and I was like, she sucks. All right, let's go to Jacqueline Fine. 5322. As a reaction, when an investigator at your location would reveal any number of chaos tokens, reveal 2 additional tokens. Of the revealed tokens, choose and cancel 2 non-auto fails or 1 auto fail.
So she's a better Father Mateo. So what I've learned is that psychics are better than priests.
Yes.
Oh, wow. She's a Father Mateo who actually has a power. And then Arbiter of Fates is great. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, whatever. Bad thing's gonna bad thing. Although that does kind of suck. It's very hard to get rid of.
You can use her ability on it.
That's funny. Yeah, that makes sense. That's really funny. I'm gonna guess. Well, sorry. What's her deck pool?
Just Mystic. These are all mono. We have one more mono investigator.
I'm gonna guess she's an A. As a mono mystic, you know exactly what you're doing. Mm-hmm. You are either the clue getter or you are shooting lasers.
Mm-hmm. And it's true.
And her...
There's no lie. There's even lasers in this picture.
There's lasers literally right here. Yeah. And her power is either going to make her better at clues, or it's going to make her better at shooting lasers.
Yeah. Or it's going to make other people better at what they're doing too.
Yeah.
It's support.
Exactly.
Support as well.
Yeah. This pose, that's A tier.
Oh, do I have the picture on this computer? I don't think I can show it, but she has a long neck, and I photoshopped her to have an even longer neck.
Just like going out of the picture?
Yeah, no, just like her, and just like the neck's really long.
Okay, I'm custom making my own.
Oh, you want
that's just with the neck going all the way out.
I can make that for you. That's no problem.
And that's how I'm playing her.
Yeah.
Like, that's the card I'm going to have.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Stella Clark, who was your first ever investigator you played a campaign with. Not the first ever investigator Eric ever played. That was Daisy Walker. But this is the first one you ever played in a campaign. 3-2-3-4 as a reaction. After you fail a skill test, you may take initial action during your turn. During your turn this round.
S tier. I suspect that she's easy. She's fun. Her ability is great. She's in the class that allows you to cheat out having low stats to do big effects. I suspect almost all of them build around that one piece that you showed me when I played her, which was the with each successive
quick
test
learner.
you do. Yeah, quick learner. But once you have quick learner, I bet the things that she can do from there on is endless. I would love to build a dark horse Stella Clark at some point. I think that would be hilarious fun. But yeah, I suspect she just does everything.
Nice.
And I bet she's never boring about it.
Yeah, potentially. I'm not going to say anything. There's so many investigators that we need a slideshow change.
Unbelievable. I love it.
All right, and we're going to go back in time.
I'm hoping of all of these videos I'm in, this one gets the least uptick after the first 3 investigators. I hope people are just like, this is garbage.
Sister Mary, why are you so big? No, people are going to love this one. I already know. People love tier lists here. If you're loving it, let us know in the comments.
She's huge.
All right, Sister Mary, 4-2-3-3. During setup, add 2 Bless tokens to the Chaos bag. As a reaction, when the round ends, add 1 Bless token to the Chaos bag.
What's her deck building?
Guardian 05, Mystic 02.
Okay, she does have some Mystic at least.
You're looking at that 4 brain and that 3 fist.
Yep. Oh, I bet she's got some huge fans out there. I bet I'm so wrong about this, but I'm gonna call her. I'm gonna call her C. I'm gonna call her
C for COD instead of God.
COD, yeah. Worship the COD. No, I lied. I'm putting her in D. I'm knocking her down. I just don't think Bless tokens matter. I just don't think they matter that much.
We should go to F, right? Because this is meta. We should go here.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Yes,
F.
yeah.
Thank you.
Because D is like actually like
S+.
S+, but to like get people salty when they see the tier list.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, yeah. So like this one's actually like you view it like higher than this, but like insultingly. It's not a compliment. It's like insult.
Yeah, 100%. In the Dark Souls world, there was a time when there was this curved frost sword in Dark Souls 3 that everyone was like, this is the best weapon in the game. And I was like, that weapon is trash because it makes you the exact same spin-to-win player I meet every day. Like, congrats.
Yeah.
You've solved the game.
Yeah.
Press button to win. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, just that Bless tokens don't do anything.
I feel like Bless tokens don't do anything. I'm probably wrong. I'm willing to say this. I'd love to explore Blesses and Curses far
it's on
more.
our list to do.
It is.
Yeah.
But from what I understand of the game right now, having not played a Bless heavy deck, I don't see how Sister Mary is doing much more than what any Mystic is doing with a worse Mystic pool. Her stat line doesn't feel good to me. And the sheer amount of Bless tokens she's putting into the Chaos bag is great, but how long does it take for that to start getting to the point where you are turning your basic actions into regular successes? Like, you need to roll 3 Bless tokens, in my opinion, because they're +2 each, right? 3 Bless tokens beats a -4. So I need to go Bless, 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 -4. And that feels bad. I don't like that.
All right.
Oh, but Crisis of Faith could be so much fun to build around. Anyways.
All right. Amanda Sharp. 2s across the board. Forced. At the start of the... no, she should be right here.
Okay.
She's right there.
Oh.
At the start of the investigation phase, draw 1 card and discard the card beneath Amanda Sharp. Choose a card from your hand and place it beneath her. As a reaction at the start of the skill test you're performing, commit the card beneath Amanda Sharp if able. Do not discard it when the test ends.
Draw one card, discard the card beneath Amanda Sharp, choose a card from your hand and place it beneath her. At the start of a skill test you are performing, commit the card beneath it and then do not discard it. Oh my god, I bet she's an S. I bet she's an S or a D. I haven't seen her played, so I'm going to guess S. I'm going to guess there are times she fails, but I'm thinking about some of the secret cards that are just like gain extra clue, or like, what's her pool?
Seeker 05, practiced 03. I think she's practiced. Oh yeah, she's practiced 03. You can play Justify the Means.
Yeah, I bet she is just brutal sometimes. Like, I'm thinking about the cards you could just get 3 of for a round. That's wild. That's hard for me to think about. I'm doing the math meme.
So this was the one that when I talked about Rex, I was very curious to see, and my prediction held true. Because I think on the high end, Amanda Sharp is the strongest investigator ever printed in this game, and it's not even close. It's like disgusting what she can do. But she actually has a lot of versatility in how she can build. But she's gross. So that was, I was like, I wasn't going to say it, but I was like, if Rex is D, I'm feeling like Amanda's going to be S. You haven't seen Amanda played, and everyone's saying you should watch me play Amanda. There was like, I was playing with another content creator, Daniel from Quick Learner, and he went through a run because I played a Cursed Amanda deck, and he was like, pretty much after the second scenario, every turn on the first turn with Amanda, you would draw 12 cards and get 4 clues. Yeah. And like we were playing a curse run too, and he was also like, somehow you would also put like 10 curse tokens in the bag while doing this.
Okay, she might be a D.
She is probably a D once you've seen her played.
Yeah.
But
this is my vibes.
Yeah, and there's also the versus, like, she also can do combat decks, which is what makes her different, right?
Yeah.
She can actually, like, she can play Vicious Blow and Vicious Blow 2, and she can just, like, attack a boss enemy for, like, crazy amounts of damage, right?
Who is she? She's a student.
Yeah, she can learn anything.
That makes sense. Yeah. Be afraid of students.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, okay, I see that.
Yeah. All right, Trish Scarborough, who isn't in the deck, but I'll get her signatures up here for you. Mostly because Travis is playing her currently in our Edge of the Earth run. Here's her signature. Here's this one first. So 2424. As a reaction, I've discovered one or more clues from a location with an enemy. Either discover one additional clue at that location or automatically evade that enemy.
Okay.
Elder Sound effect is +2. If this is investigation, you may choose any revealed location to be investigating. Her signature weakness is these shadow agents. Okay, that's fine. And then, sorry, what was that again? You can discover one additional clue or evade that enemy. I'm gonna guess she's a D. I'm gonna guess she's so strong. And I'm gonna guess that she often gets played the same way and built the same way and just absolutely grinds out value when she does play. What's her deck pool? You're gonna be like, of course, it's Rogue 05, Seeker 02. Of course. Yeah. Yeah. I think the strongest deck pool in the game. Yeah. 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 And with that stat line, she literally is built to only do 2 things, and she does them. Yeah. That is what she do. Yeah. That's wild. And an 8/6? I should stop. Yeah. She's a D. Dexter Drake, 5232, is a lightning bolt during your turn. Discard an asset you control. Play an asset with a different title from your hand, reducing its cost by 1. He's an A or a D, I'm sure. Probably an A. I make this face because those who know that Dexter Drake and I did not mesh well. I played him once. I suspect he's an A. I suspect he's one of the best caster mystics in the game. And I suspect there's a lot of fun you can do with the fact that he can make things cheaper and how and when you want to play him and how you want to abuse your magic and powers and abilities. But, ugh. And Silas Marsh, who isn't in here, but you've been playing Silas Marsh. I think that Silas Marsh is probably an A.
I think his power is fun. It's very effective. He can be very low to the ground, which is a lot of fun. But he is also another... He's another guy, you know? He's just a guy.
He's just a guy.
He's just a guy.
He's just a guy.
I feel like he doesn't do a lot when there aren't enemies on the field. And like I haven't had to experience too much of that because you're a machine. And I've had some extra things to do, but I feel like he's really good at dealing with guys. And he doesn't do much else. Yeah, which is fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's fun.
All right, Daniela Reyes. 4152 is a reaction after an enemy attacks you, except as an attack of opportunity you provoked. Even if that attack was canceled, either deal 1 damage to that enemy or automatically evade it. So these are interesting. These Edge of the Earth survivors, they have very weird deck building. They are their main class, so Guardian, she's Guardian level 0, and she could have 5 level 0 survivor cards. But her upgrades are survivor 1 to 5. So all of these characters we're about to talk about are going to upgrade into a different class.
Taking that into account, I think she's probably an A. Because she goes into Survivor, you said? So she's effectively a Survivor with 5 Fist?
Yeah.
I bet she's great. Especially with 0 Guardian, which gets you all the base level weapons you need. Yeah, I bet she's a ton of fun and very, I bet she's not as good as Silas though, because Silas can at least recommit the cards and gets to play around with that. I'm gonna move her down to a B. I lied. I bet that she is like a lot of the other enemy matters cards. But I bet she's fun. I bet she's a ton of fun, especially if she upgrades into Survivor. What a clever idea. Thumbs up. I really like her.
All right. Norman Withers, 4521. You play with the top card of your deck revealed. And once per round, you may play the top card of your deck as if it was a card in your hand. It costs -1 resource. This guy is a Seeker, level 0, like Daniela. And 5 level 0 Mystic cards, and he upgrades into Mystic.
Norman Withers, you're making me reconsider. I was about to throw you in a D. I bet Norman Withers is an S.
Hi, Russ. Oh, there you are.
I bet Norman Withers is basically a D that is fun to play. Because I bet he does a whole bunch of weird things.
He has pretty much the same card pool as Luke, just without the leveled up Seeker cards.
Yeah. But he also plays off the top of his deck.
Yep.
At cheap.
Yep.
I bet he's a lot of weird fun.
Yeah. Did you see his signature weakness? The hand?
Oh, I love the hand. Buddy. I thought you were saying that to me for a moment. I was like, It's just a hand, Justin. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's fun. That's fun. I like that you can get rid of it from itself. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's got the Hyperborean Grimoire, so he's somehow connected to Conan the Barbarian. Makes sense. S tier. No questions.
All right. Monterey Jack, 1425 is a reaction at the end of your turn. If you are 1 location away from your current location, at the end of your turn, if the location you started this round is 1 location away from your current location, either draw 1 card or gain 1 resource. Both if you are 2 away from your starting location. He is like these guys. He is going to be Rogue, level 0, and then 5 level 0 Seeker cards, and he upgrades into Seeker.
I want him to be an S, but I bet he's a D. I bet you always play him the exact same way. Oh, no, wait. Trusty Bullwhip. Kind of changes the... Not really. He's pretty much just a Seeker. He's just a Seeker who moves around a lot, which means you use all the Seeker tools that let you move around a lot. Which means he's a D. I bet he's a D. I bet he's really, really fun and really strong, but I bet you pretty much always play him the same way. Because otherwise I see this guy dying really hard.
All right. Lily Chen, you're going to want to pull these out.
Oh, okay.
So Lily Chen is a 3-2-4-3. You begin the game with each discipline in your deck in play on broken side face up. You're not going to get all these at the start. I'll explain that in a second. Her ultimate sound effect is +2. After this test ends, flip a broken discipline you control to its unbroken side. You get 1 at the start of the game, and then for every, I believe, 15 XP in your deck, you get to add an extra discipline. When you do, you also add a Burden of Destiny. So you always have 1 Burden of Destiny for each discipline in your deck. She is like these others. Stop it. Where she is Mystic level 0, Guardian, 5 level 0 Guardian cards, and she upgrades into a Guardian. She also cannot play firearms. Because that would be kind of unfair.
S tier for sure. S tier for sure. She must be one of the most interesting characters to play. The fact that she can get everything but book to 4+. The fact that she then gets a whole bunch of additional cool little abilities, which all kind of trigger differently. I bet she is a ton of fun. And I bet that she plays very differently depending on how you build her. And you said she starts as Mystic and then goes into...
Guardian.
Guardian?
Yeah.
That's going to be weird. Probably. But actually, it's basically just saying you're Guardian and you get some good fighting spells. So it's probably that's probably why she doesn't get guns. Yeah, that's probably good. She's probably fun. Fascinating.
All right. Last one here for Edge of the Earth is Bob Jenkins.
Bob!
He is a 2-4-3-3. At any time, an investigator can show you any item assets in their hand. And you may take additional action during your turn, which can use to play an item asset in your hand or someone else's hand, played under the owner's control, and anyone can pay the costs. He upgrades into Rogue. His signature Shrewd Dealings reduces the cost of each item, and you can also play items from under control of other investigators, so that could be like playing a card from your hand under mine, vice versa. And then his signature weakness is just Greed, because it is... greed it happens.
I've seen you play him.
Yeah, I played him in Dark Matter.
Yeah.
With, take 1 horror if you have, and basically it scales with how many resources you have.
I'm going to call him a B tier.
For Bob.
Yeah, he was fun. I don't think his power triggers enough.
In 2-player, it's not a good showcase. In 3 or 4 players, it really changes.
I could see that being better, yeah. I think his ability to play other people's cards onto him is silly and fun. But I don't necessarily seeing it as being useful, necessarily. Because I think most other decks, even if you have Bob Jenkins, are building for the items they need. And so the idea of you taking those items...
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So, I'd call him B tier.
Nice. Okay, I believe we are now going to Carson Sinclair.
Carson Sinclair.
2s across the board. You may take oh my god, sorry buddy, you're about to fall off. You may take an additional action during your turn, which can only be used to activate the below action ability. Choose an investigator at another investigator location. They automatically take an action as if it was their turn. Limit once per round for each investigator.
I mean, Carson Sinclair has to be an S rank, because if you run 2 Carson Sinclairs, you can go infinite. Yeah, I think Carson Sinclair is probably S tier. I don't think there is any character like him in the game that I can think of. I suspect in a 2-player game he would be very interesting, but I suspect once you get 3 or 4 players, Carson Sinclair just like buddies up with whoever's going to be best for the scenario, and you just absolutely destroy the campaign together, which makes him very weirdly flexible, because he's only as good as the rest of his party is, which means he's not D rank, because you're going to be doing potentially a different thing every scenario.
Yeah. And even then, you don't even buddying up, you actually can give actions to everybody. Because you can do it multiple times, but only once per investigator, but one of them is free.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet he's a lot of fun, and I bet he's S tier.
Russ, what are you doing down there?
Attacking the courts.
All right, Vincent Lee, the Doctor. Do you remember Carolyn Fern?
I do.
So 3-4-3-1 as a reaction after one of your card effects heals damage from an investigator and an investigator's ally asset. Add 1 set aside on the men's skills to their hand.
Cat is trying to hang himself.
Russ, you trying to kill yourself? You want to treat that bad, huh? Oh my god, you do. God, come on.
Add one of your set aside on the mend skills to that investigator's hand. On the mend. Yeah.
So I played this guy with Charlie Kane.
Yeah. I'm going to say he's probably D tier. He's Seeker.
So Seeker 03, cards that heal damage 05, up to 15 level 0 to 1 Guardian Survivor cards.
Okay, I changed my bet. He's an S. That's way too broad of a card pool for him to always play the exact same way, which explains why your Vincent Lee was so weird and occasionally wasn't firing, was because you were trying something new, and it was incredibly fun and very successful, but it's a great example of how this character is flexible enough that you can do things that are off brand with him. Because, I mean, the truth is, when you've got 4 book and you're a Seeker, you're pretty much already reaching towards D tier. His ability is a bit on the weak side, because it's based on damage, but his bone saw is insane. And on the mend is really, really good if you can. So yeah, I'd say he's probably S tier with that pool specifically.
All right, K-Mani, 3225 is a lightning bolt and engage an exhaust enemy or location. When you attempt to evade an exhausted non-elite enemy, add your book to your skill value for this attempt. If you succeed by X, at least X, discard the enemy, where X is that enemy's remaining health.
C tier. I love K-Mani. I would love to figure out how to make K-Mani work and be super effective. But I think that is too many clauses to get K-Mani off the ground. What's K-Mani's pool?
Rogue 05, Tools 04.
Yeah. I would want K-Money to have a little bit of Seeker so that I could get some book boost. So that I could more effectively...
There is a card, it's a level 4 Seeker tool called Microscope, where after an investigator location evades or defeats an enemy, you put an evidence on it, and then for 2 actions you can remove up to 3 evidence to get +2 book for each evidence removed and discover 1 clue for each evidence removed.
Yeah.
So there is a thing, K-Mani can trigger their ability to do that multiple times, but... Yeah, you do kind of... I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Amina Zidane, 3s across the board.
This is the most dangerous space for me. This and 2s across the board.
As a reaction, when you play an asset, reduce its resource cost by 3. It enters with 1 doom on it. Limit once per round.
Interesting. And then you have Word of Wheel.
And Word of Woe. There's one underneath it.
Okay. I'm gonna guess that she's a C. What's her card pool?
Mystics 05, Charm 03, maybe Charm 04. She's Charm 04. She's like K-Mani.
Okay, yeah. I think that she's a C because I see what they're going with her, I think. But choosing to add Doom to put assets into play for very cheap, only to have a 3 in all of your skills, and to be in Mystic, for the most part specifically, does not feel good. It feels like I am taking away tempo, and not... 3 resources for 1 Doom is not a trade I would make in that direction, personally. When you discard the asset, the Doom goes away, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Even then. I would really love if someone in the comments would prove me wrong with this character. They're
not going to.
Okay.
People hate her. Except for Astute, who might be watching this, who loves Amina.
Astute, get in the comments. I need you to say something. So I should probably even put her F tier, but I see her as C.
I also personally would see her as C.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've built some Amina decks that aren't awful, but I've built some that aren't great. She just hasn't received support, which is a shame. Daryl Simmons, 2, 5, 2, 3. He begins the play with his Kodak in play. As lightning bolt during a skill test location, spend 1 evidence from an asset you control. Reduce the difficulty of this test by 2. Limit once per test. And his Kodak it's got a whole bunch of stuff. But after an enemy or treachery enters play, you can exhaust it to place an evidence on it. Or place a resource on it as evidence. And then after you discover 1 or more clues from that treachery or enemy's location, you can move that to the Kodak, which then you can use to trigger his ability. Which allows you to reduce difficulty of skill test by someone at your location by 2.
What's pool?
Survivor 05, Seeker 02.
D tier. I bet he has 1 loop and 1 loop only, and it's super great. I bet he picks up a lot of clues, and then enemies show up, and he's just like, shutter flash, shutter flash, shutter flash, shutter flash. I'm gonna go pick up more clues now. Yeah. I do like ruined film. That's clever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I suspect when you play him exactly one way.
Charlie Kane, 1s across the board. You've played Charlie. You have 3 additional ally slots as lightning bolt during a skill test of your location. Sorry, during a test you are performing. Exhaust an ally you control. For this test, you get +1 skill value and up to an additional +1 for each matching icon on that.
Obviously, Charlie is an S+ tier. No, he's S tier.
Yeah.
He does so many weird things. There's so many fun, strange stuff you can do. I made up spoilers. You've got 30 seconds.
This is past spoilers, though, so...
That's true. I made a petting zoo, and it was...
It worked.
It was fire.
Yeah.
I purposely chose, like, the worst cards, thinking Charlie would be my bad character, and he wandered through an eldritch horror as if nothing was happening. Mm-hmm. He had a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love him. Now, obviously, subject 5U21.
Nope, we're skipping Susie. Wilson Richards. 3s across the board.
No!
Reduce the resource cost for the first tool asset you play each round by 1. You get +1 skill value during skill tests on tool assets. Hey, buddy, you back?
Okay. And I imagine his deck pool is something like Guardian 0 to 5 and then Tools 0 to 3. 0 to 2.
He's newer. I haven't burnt him into my brain yet. He is Tool 0 to 5, Guardian 0 to 4, and up to 5 improvised or upgrade cards 0-1.
S tier, and I want to play this character. S tier. S tier. That's insane. What are you talking about? Sorry, what was that last category of deck building?
Upgrade or improvised, level 0 to 1. He can have 5 of those in his deck.
S tier. S tier. You're telling me that this man has 4 stats across the board on any asset that he can pick up, which means if you can get an asset that helps you do anything, you're sitting at 5? S tier. Who is this man? How does Dark Horse work again?
He can't play Dark Horse.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, because it has to reduce. He can't play that card.
Okay.
But if you have 0 resources, you get +1 to all your stats.
Okay, because that would be sick on him. S tier. I bet he's the most flexible character in the game, probably.
He is very flexible. Kate Winthrop, 2424.
Your cat is literally...
Ross, you hanging yourself again?
Actually attempting, like walking in that direction.
Stop it. Stop killing yourself. Choose life, Russ. Choose life.
Ooh.
It's a tough moment. Play with the toy. All right, Kate Winthrop. 2424, you begin the game with the Flux Stabilizer in play. Inactive side face up. As a lightning bolt, you can move 1 clue from Kate Winthrop to a science or tool asset you control with no clues on it. Force, when an asset you control with the clue on at least play, you put that clue on your location. Looking at the active side of this would also probably be pretty... Oh my god, you ripped that right from my hand, buddy.
Interesting. Okay, wait. Excuse me? What's her
Her pool?
Yeah.
Oh my god, she's Science 05?
How many science weapons are there?
There are none.
Okay, good.
So she's Seeker 05, Science 04, Insight 01.
I really want to play her. I suspect she's an A. She might even be an S, but I suspect she's an A. I think that she is one of the most interesting flexes I've ever seen, especially with some of the etheric clots. But you actually have to find them, which I suspect is the ticket. But the fact that she gets +2 from an asset, once Flux Capacitor is self-active, it basically is that +2. I think the only thing that stops her from being an S or a D tier to me is that she is kind of losing clues in a weird way, which slows her down.
Well, no, they stay under her control.
Yeah, that's true. Can you spend them off of your items as well?
Yeah. They made that ruling, and it actually broke some old scenarios, which was pretty funny.
Yeah, dang. I'm going to call her an S tier.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, next up, Alessandra Zorzi, 3/4/2/4. You may take an additional action during your turn, which can only be used to parlay. So parlay is an action type that receives some support. Her signature, for example, she gets 3 of those, and they are parlay. And she can play Rogue... Alessandra. She can play Rogue.
I can find
0/5 and parlay. Cards that parlay. Or cards with parlay 0/5.
I'm gonna guess she's B tier. I'm gonna guess she's fine. Like she's mechanically fine, but I'm guessing parlay is not that strong still, even with the support, just based on what I've seen of it. And I suspect that when it fails really bad, and then you really fall behind. Yeah, I'm sure she's fine.
All right, Kohaku Narukami, 4/4/3/1. As a reaction at the start of your turn, either add 1 bless or 1 curse token to the keg, whichever there are less of, or remove 2 of each to take an additional action during your turn.
Oh ho ho! Okay, card pool is obviously Mystic.
Bless cursed.
Yeah.
So he'll play Kohaku Narukami. He plays Blessed 0/5, Curse 0/5, Occult 0, Mystic 0/3. So he's actually more Blessed Curse than he is Mystic.
I think that's going to keep him firmly in A tier for me, but I feel that with his stat line and with his weird Blessed Curse effect... With his weird Blessed Curse effects, I think you could have a really fun time doing weird things with him, especially if you could find other ways to pay off your curses and your blesses. And I love that he has a slow build to an extra turn. I think that's very strong, but I don't think it's too strong. And it happens passively, too, so if you don't focus on it...
It can just happen.
It can still maybe just happen. I do love his Weeping Yurei, and Book of Living Myths seems really good. Yeah.
All right. You ready for Honk Thompson?
Honk Thompson.
3/1/5/3. You may be assigned damage or horror dealt to other ally assets at your location.
Or other investigators.
Yep. As a reaction, when you'll be defeated by damage or horror, heal all of it and then turn into one of his resolute versions. So they should be under him.
What's his deck pool?
No, they're under here. His deck pool is pretty big. It's Survivor 0/5. And then I think he has 35 cards in his deck, so his deck's a bit bigger. And he has up to 10 other innate or spirit cards, level 0 to 2.
Wow. I'm going to definitely call him an S tier character. I suspect there's not one way to build him, considering the 2 different variations on him feel really good and very different. I think he's very interesting, though, because you can basically play to lose in terms of damage. The fact that he's not just monsters either, he's actually, like, encounter cards as well. And the way Stout-Hearted works is kind of insane. Yeah, I bet he's a ton of fun, and I bet he's actually quite powerful. The fact that you can basically regenerate once every session is really strong. Yeah. And his different stat lines means you can flex into something different if you really needed to. But getting 6 Fist is absolutely wild.
That's a big number. All right, we have 6 investigators left. Wow. So we're going to go with, these are all the newest ones. Marion Tavares.
I've not seen her before.
2, 3, 4, 3. You have one fewer hand slot.
Okay.
As a reaction, after you play an event during your turn, draw one card. Then you may play a different event, limit once per round.
Okay. So I have 7 cards. I play an event. I draw a card back to 7, and then I get to play another event. I have just, for one action every turn, filtered a card out of my deck and played 2 events, potentially. I am Dynamite. Okay, let's continue. I'm sort of mentally trying to structure that in MTG terms, which is still how I understand this game.
Yeah.
Mono blue, lots of interaction. Okay. Okay. What's her pool?
So she has a very unique pool. She is, at deck creation, you choose one of the following traits: Fortune, Gambit, or Improvised. You are Guardian level 0 to 5, up to events of your chosen trait 0 2, and up to 5 other level 0 Survivor cards.
Interesting. How many ways can she hoover clues?
Is
that something she can actually do with her deck building?
Yeah, she could definitely flex. She couldn't be like the... You took it from me. You definitely couldn't be like the main Clover. You'd have to work a little bit harder for that. But there are ways for her to do it like on like a flex level very comfortably.
I'm going to guess that she is an A tier character. She's got a decent stat line. She sounds like she can flex. She also sounds like she has the draw that Guardians want. She is hard Guardian. And going Survivor into all those events sounds really strong. A Guardian Survivor combo that focuses on lots of events feels really powerful.
All right. George Barnaby just butted in line, so I guess we have to go to George Barnaby. He butted ahead. Fret's fricked up with him. All right, George Barnaby, 2, 4, 3, 3. Oh, these might be in alphabetical order. That's what might happen.
Oh, okay.
Your max hand size is equal to the number of face-down cards beneath George Barnaby. You may commit face-down cards beneath George Barnaby to skill tests as if they were in your hand. As a reaction, after you discard a card from your hand, place it face down beneath George Barnaby, then draw one card, limit once per phrase, and Elder Sign effect is just +1, draw 1.
Okay, so hold on. So playing a card is not discarding it.
Correct.
So for George Barnaby, your first turn basically has to be play an asset.
So when you do your first mulligan, when you have your 5 cards, you may put any number of them under George Barnaby.
Okay, and then you can play those. So George Barnaby is a better version of the the actress.
You thinking the painter?
Yeah.
Well, you can only commit them. You can't play them. You can only commit them. So you can't actually play them.
Mm-hmm.
So you can like commit their skill icons or their skill cards, like if they were skill cards.
And he basically has a maximum of 5 instead of 8 cards in hand.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I still think he's probably better. I think he probably is a very interesting person to play. What's his deck building?
He's okay. I know this one. Before I check, Survivor 05, up to 15 Rogue and Seeker cards. 10 other Rogue and Seeker, and his deck size is 35. So
Okay.
10 Rogue Seeker, level 0 only. So he's basically mono Survivor, apart from those 10 cards, which is a lot. It's a lot of cards, but he's 35 deck size, mostly mono Survivor.
Yeah, but he's got 4 book, which means he can run Magnifying Glass.
He can run Magnifying
Which
Glass. It's true.
I hate him. I'm going to say that he is probably a B. I think he has the capacity to be an A, especially with that deck building. But the fact that he is, as you said, committing, not playing them, I think weakens him a little bit. And I think that there is a good chance that you could accidentally end up with the wrong things under you in order to just try and get a hand size so you're not dead in the first so you're not playing catch up for rounds 2 and 3 of the game.
Awesome. All right. Oh, Lucius back on track.
There we go.
Lucius Galloway, 2415. As a reaction, if you successfully evade an enemy by 2 or more, discover 1 clue your location, limit once per round.
Okay. So do I sound less enthused? I think I might hate Seeker. Let's hear his deck pool.
Seeker 05, Rogue 02.
Okay, that's actually a pretty sick pool. Oh, yeah, he's probably a D. I bet he's really good, especially with 8-6. Yeah, he's probably just really good. He sounds consistent. He sounds like you're mostly just building him to be a seeker, and then when you evade enemies, you get extra benefit. So at most, the worst part about Lucius Galloway is probably that he occasionally looks to the thug and goes, "Don't kill this one this turn.
Yeah.
I need to evade it first." Yeah.
All right. Michael McGlenn, 3153. As a reaction, after you spend 1 or more ammo from a firearm asset, gain 1 resource. Limit once per firearm asset per round.
Interesting. What's his deck building?
All right, let's see if I know this. I think he's Rogue 03. I'm doing a test. Rogue 03, Firearm 05. Cards with ammo? No, he's... Okay, I don't know. Rogue 03, cards with either firearm, either as their trait or in their text box 05. So I was right. Rogue 03, firearm, trait, or text box 05.
Interesting.
So he's the gun guy.
He's the gun guy. I'm going to guess he is an A. And I admit I'm using a little bit of cheating knowledge because you told me that you would put Tony Morgan in C and that Tony Morgan's actually really good.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that Michael McGlenn is kind of Tony Morgan, but with less steps. So he just turns bullets into money. He just eats shell casings.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So I suspect he's just an A. I suspect he's really good, and I'm probably undervaluing him.
All right.
Yeah.
Gloria Goldberg.
Oh, yes.
5421. You choose the investigator order during the Mythos phase, and as a reaction, when you look at 1 or more cards in the encounter deck, look at 1 additional card and choose 1 non-elite card from among them. Either discard it, put it on top, or place it beneath Gloria Goldberg.
What's her deck building?
She is Mystic 05, and then she could play events and skills level 0 to 1 from either Rogue, Guardian, or Seeker, and she chooses one of those 3.
I'm gonna guess she is a D, because I'm guessing you always choose Seeker, and you basically always hoover clues, and then take up parts of the encounter deck, and just destroy the game.
So you're mostly right. You actually mostly choose Guardian with it, because Guardian has the second most look at the encounter deck cards.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Because you also just don't need it, because she has like Mystic cards to make the book 5, and it's the same. Otherwise, copy paste what you said.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking clearly.
She does break the game though. You are right on that.
Yeah, and I bet she breaks the game pretty much. It always feels the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Which is good. Like, I bet it feels good until you're bored.
Yeah. And that's what the D tier is. It's B for D for Dord.
D for Dord.
And the last one here, we got Agatha Crane. She has 2 different versions of her. We're going to kind of just like
I can't believe
make her...
they got the rights to put a novelist in this game.
We're going to kind of like do them together.
Oh.
Because she has 2 different versions of her that you can play. And you can kind of just like pick your poison. Her ability on the front side are the same. So the front are the same. It's going to get complicated when we get to the back. 4413 is a reaction when your turn ends. If you sealed, canceled, or ignored 1 or more chaos tokens, play a spell or insight card from your discard pile, and after that event resolves, you remove it from the game. She has 35 deck size for each of her decks.
Just from the scenario, not from the entire campaign.
Yes,
right?
that would be exile. So removing the game is just the scenario. So the Seeker one is Seeker 05. Insight 03, and up to 10 other level 0 Mystic cards. The Mystic version is Mystic 05, Spell Events 03, and up to 10 other level 0 Seeker cards.
D, A.
So the D is for the Seeker, the A is for the Mystic. We have just 1 for her. What do you want to put for her?
D.
D?
Yeah. I bet she plays almost always the exact same way once she's a Seeker. She sounds very strong. She sounds very fun. She sounds like she would probably be one of the most fun chaos token characters. But I also feel like you are always going to build her for chaos. You are always probably going to take the Seeker pile, because that sounds really good. And if you take the Mystic pile, you're probably building pretty much the same way as the Seeker pile, but with less immediate clue economy.
Yeah, it's a bit strange because like the Seeker side has better payoffs, but worse to enable it, and the Mystic side has worse payoffs, but more consistent enabling for it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there was the predictive tier list here that we're going to be able to look back on and see and how this is, and then. What's exciting is I think Eric got some investigators they want to try out. Like you want to try Wilson Richards.
I really do.
He would probably be pretty good for Edge of the Earth because that's our next campaign after Innsmouth.
Okay, yeah, nice. I'm a little surprised at how top-heavy this ended up being. I understand ARKHAM a little bit through a lens of how ARKHAM is discussed on Discord. I do sometimes read it, and I generally get a sense that people think that a lot of investigators are not great, that there are some obvious way better investigators than others, and so like my D tier list is pretty long, but it's not as long as my S or A tier, and like there are actually, out of all of these investigators, there are only a few that I call C or F, so I'm a little personally impressed at how it feels like a lot of them are more playable than I thought they were.
Yep. I think that is very true, and I've been saying for a while that most investigators are now able to do like a functional deck, and tier lists to me are now just like the consistency in which they can hit that deck or the ease of getting to that point.
Yeah.
And I think for the most part, there's no real... I mean, there's a few that I'm like, that's... in my mind, crazy.
Okay, I want to know one of them.
Nacho. I think he's the best fighter in the game.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but it's one of the things I think is your whole point about, I think is very fair about how goons just don't do anything if there's no enemies, right?
Yeah.
But if they're so hyper efficient, like you draw a 7 health enemy and Nacho's like, it's gone, right? Like it makes those turns where he's not doing anything like worth it, right? Because he's just like so hyper efficient at getting the job done. But I think overall though, this was very interesting insight. I've been wanting to revisit Father Mateo because I do think you were very apt with when you said like Jacqueline finds just a better Father Mateo.
Psychics beat priests.
But there is a Father Mateo deck that I really was fond of when I played it, and I'd love to bring that back again. It basically, so that his new difference is he got all of McBride 2, which lets him fish for Elder Signs. And he is like one of the best Elder Signs in the game, so he can like just like do that. That's a very fun build. But I think overall though, this was very fun and very insightful to me as well. And I hope for everyone watching at home you enjoyed this and would like to see this again in the future, as well as like updates on this list of where Eric feels they are after playing them.
Yes.
Because so much of this was just like predictive, right? So, a big thing to keep in mind. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching, everybody. We will see you all very soon for another video on the channel. Tomorrow, actually, I'm pretty sure we have the Mystic current tier list coming out for me on the channel, so you can keep your eyes open for that. In the meantime, have a good one, and as always, JJ's.